All right, gold member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
That's how we gotta be. That's how we gotta be. You know? It's a, and then it's a, uh. It's, huh? Huh. That's all people want, right? 2 thumbs up. Smile. Be happy. Be grateful. Be grateful you get to watch this club. Don't get upset. Hey, you said it, not me, all right? What are you on about? People they want you to just say, "It's gonna be okay." You know? Did he, did he do his press conference? Wait, let's look. Did he do his press conference? Not press conference. Oh my god, we can watch it. Wow, okay, we're definitely gonna watch it. How am I doing? Doing all right, man. Um, it's not great that, it's not awesome that the game is at 7 AM, and I gotta figure out I gotta go get a haircut because my hair's too fucking long and it's itching me like a motherfucker. Um, but it's not raining, and life's not that bad, so we'll watch it. We'll watch it. Hey, all good, brother. No one's obligated to be here. Um, we were supposed to be hosting a guest today, um, but you know what? Schedules change, things happen, and we're pushing it to post game tomorrow. So I'm not the guy from United. Okay, I can't do that. I used to have super long hair. Um, I used to have super long hair, so been there, done that. You know. I have to get a trim, bro. My hair is just too damn long. I like how this is the commonality. Press is look at this shit. Talked utter shit. Talk total BS. Full of excuses. Hey, are you on the West Coast trip? Where are you? I have to wake up at the same time. So where are you in the Western time zone? This tells me so much about you, Mac. The fact that you know Ian Carroll enough to know that he looks like me tells me that you are a very specific type of media consumer, and I can draw many conclusions. Oh, you're in Orange County. What the fuck? Bro, don't lie to me. Are you loaded? Are you dripped out? Are you sitting on millions? I know. It's the best fucking thing. I'm not judging you, bro. There's some things that he talks about that are facts. There's other things that he talks about where I think, this is a lot of theory and, not a lot of substance. But, he tries to tackle topics that are gonna be like that, so I get it. I'm not judging you, dude. I've listened to him plenty of times. Hey, the streak ends Sunday no matter what, okay? No matter what, I'm not streaming on Sunday. I don't have the time. Mission Viejo? Mission Viejo, economic demographic. Let's take a look. Hey, check it out, guys. It's Arnie Slot, but he's under a different name. He says, "Shut the fuck up, pussy. You think you know everything, but you aren't an expert in anything. At least you're talking with some fucking balls today, you bitch made fucking pussy. Go suck a fat bag of dicks, bro. I don't give a shit about what you have to say, and I don't care about what you think of me. At the end of the day, you're watching because you're a hater, and you can click that little fucking X button at the top, and you don't have to listen to a word I say. So, disrespectfully, suck my dick." It was supposed to be Ends, but Ends is going to be on the show tomorrow, so don't worry. His son has a football game, and it would have been tight. And I've known Ends for a long time. There's no need to put ourselves in a super tight schedule. So we're just going to do it after the game tomorrow. Easier. That way, we're not pressured for time. Um, Not particularly. No, no. I do like UK Garage though. I also like UK Garage rap. I like the rap that's over UK Garage. That shit's fire. No, disrespectfully. Hey, listen. Technically, we do. His name is Aaron Ramsey and Joe Gomez. But if Slot tries to put Soboslai in right back, we're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked. There are two other players who can play there. In fact, Endo could play there. Curtis Jones could do a better job of Soboslai there. There's a lot of options. Hang on. There's a particular group chat just going fucking crazy. You think that's me? You think that's me being rattled? You think that's me being rattled? That's how I talk to you guys on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, drum and bass is fire too. Again, it depends. Oy. You're being naughty today, okay? You guys are being naughty today. Um, let's just fuck it. Let's just get into it, dude. Let's just take a look at what this cuck has to say. Fish and chips? We've already discussed this, Nems. You love to ask the same questions. I will never eat fish with French fries, ever. Coffee. Same kind of coffee. Same coffee. Coffee with milk. Coffee with milk. All right. Let's take a look at what the slot cuck has to say. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say that you watch because you quite literally have nothing better to do with your life. That's what I'm going to think. I think that you watch and shit talk because of the 24 hours in your day, there is such a lack of substance that this is the only modicum of any sort of meaning that could happen in those 24 hours. The hour you spent here is the most meaningful hour of your day, which at the end of the day is sad, and I'm sorry. But here we go. How fucking dare you, Roach? How dare you, you disrespectful piece of shit. How dare you? How dare you? Apologize right now. Apologize to this fucking squirrel right now. How dare you? Cumberland Farms isn't even fucking comparable, bro. Oops, it's muted.
Thank you.
Really good.
Oh, really?
I'm probably going to have to ask you about transfer speculation and potential to bring in a centre half in January. How likely are you to bring in a centre half, whether it's Mark Gay or anyone else?
Oh, this was one of the questions I didn't expect. Talking about signings in the winter break, I think there are so many games to be played before that. And in the position we are in, it's the last thing that's on my mind. Maybe not on Richard's, but it's the last thing on my mind. So it's not a topic at all for me at the moment. We have at this moment of time 3 centre backs, where with Joe Gomez included, of course, and maybe Ryan and Wata who can play in that position. So maybe you are not aware of it yet, but we have other positions at the moment where which is a bit more of an issue.
In terms of results, then, how perfect do you feel you have to be if you are to retain the title now?
No, I think I've said many times already that at this moment of time, we're not even thinking or talking about it. Actually, we didn't do this last season as well when we were top of the league. It's just about the next game. And I've said many times last season, and I say this season again as well, the best way to judge a league table is after 38 games, but the next best thing, in my opinion, is after 19 games. And let's see where we are then. But at this moment of time, the only focus we have is winning games of football, which it was actually the same last season at this moment of time.
I actually don't necessarily disagree with anything he's said so far. I don't want my manager thinking about signings in November. And I don't want my manager thinking about the title race in November. I don't really have anything negative to say about those first 2 questions because I don't really think that those answers were poor under any circumstance. I know enough, big guy. I know enough. Simple.
Ask you about Andy Robertson. I think his comments after Scotland qualified for the World Cup around Diogo Jota kind of gave an indication of the weight of grief that you guys are also carrying. I just wonder then how you manage that day to day within the club.
All right, this is going to be about Jota. I don't need to hear this question. My stance on it is very simple. It's an absolute tragedy what happened over the summer. I understand how grief works, not just in losing someone, but in having something traumatic happen to you, regardless of whether or not it involves death. But at the end of the day, you can't use it as an excuse for anything, and life moves on. So I don't need to hear about it anymore. I understand it could have a mental effect on people, but at this point in time, it cannot be affecting your day-to-day life in order to be productive. And I would say that if you're a regular person, not just because you're a footballer. Um, I would say that with anyone in any job. You know, like if we were all coworkers, I would say the same thing. Milk, yes, milk, whole grass-fed milk.
Can I ask you about team news? Alisson, just wondering where he is. Andy Robertson himself, I don't think he trained yesterday. Alexander and the update maybe on Jeremy as well.
Robert didn't train for private reasons, yeah. But he will be with us today. Alisson trains last week and this week, so he will be able to play tomorrow if things work out well today again. But we do have some issues after the international break, unfortunately. So Conor Bradley is not able to play. Florian Wirtz is not able to play. Those are the two, I think.
Wait. Florian Wirtz is not able to play? What? What? How the fuck did he get a muscle injury? Oh, what? Huh? What? What? Okay. Official statement is Bradley out for the next 3 weeks, but Florian shorter. Yeah, that's from the Anfield Papers, all right? Don't fucking listen to Anfield Papers. No. Arnie Slot said 3 weeks for Bradley and less for Florian Wirtz. Guys, stop fucking quoting Anfield Papers. You saying that Allison is my cousin? Fucking A, bro. The news just gets. Why did I pick Liverpool? Like, why did I pick Liverpool to make content about? This is just fucking depressing.
Yeah. So that's that's the far from ideal.
Do you expect Alisson, or would you choose Alisson to start?
If he's ready to play, then he will start. Yeah.
Thank you. I just wonder what differences you're expecting in Nottingham Forest this season compared to when you faced them last season. Obviously, 2 changes of manager since then.
Yeah. True. 2 changes.
I need all the fucking help I can get, dude. Stop rating me.
Just I don't think you can. No, not one manager is the same as another one. But the playing style of Nuno comes closer to the one of Sondheis than it comes close to the one of Ainge Postecoglou, maybe. Again, not similar, but closer. So so I think it's probably going to be a similar type of game than it was the last time we faced them. Now with Sondheis taking over from Ainge Postecoglou.
And obviously the hectic fixture schedule won't let up over the next few weeks. I think it's 7 games in 21 days for you. How is that when it comes to bedding some of your new signings in particular in? Because some of them have sort of varying levels of form so far. How does that affect things when you perhaps feel like, I don't know, maybe you have to change things for fitness reasons every few days?
No, variation of form is not only with the new signing, that's also with the players we have. So that's always in a season that is not always the same. They're not always in the same form. But the biggest issue we've faced till now and still facing is the match fitness of the players and the time they've missed in preseason. So Alex now, we were hoping him to play a little bit more for the Swedish national team, but unfortunately he was 1 yellow away from being suspended. So for obvious reasons, they didn't play him the second time. But for us, it would have been better if he would have had a bit more minutes in the second game. So yeah, I just told you about Connor and Florian. Jeremy is already out. Giovanni Leoni. So we have at this moment of time 5 defenders, natural defenders, 5 players that have always played as a defender, available for indeed 7 games in 22 days. And I don't see anyone coming back before that. So yeah, that is something we almost I wouldn't say expected, but we knew that it was hard when you bring players a little bit later into the season. That it's harder to keep them fit, and then there's more emphasis on the ones that have to play a little bit more. In terms of what you ask from them. So yeah, that was one of the reasons why I played the team that I played against Palace for the League Cup.
We're still talking about a lack of preseason, and it's November 21st. But we're still talking about a lack of 4 fucking games. Guys, can we stop acting like preseason is like a fucking season? It's like 4 games. You spend half the time on a fucking airplane.
Could you ask what are the issues with Bradley and Birth?
Both muscle issues.
Expected to be long?
I don't expect Connor to be part of the upcoming 22 days, maybe in the end, but not in the upcoming 22 days. Unless something as a miracle happens, which I don't expect. Florian should be able maybe to play after. It depends on how things work, but that shouldn't have to be that long. But Jeremy is out just as long. He's not probably going to be available in the upcoming 2-3 weeks as well. So it's going to be interesting who all of you want to see as a right fullback in the upcoming weeks.
Next question. Yeah.
This fucking asshole. He's taking the piss. He's taking the fucking piss. He's making jokes. He's making jokes. Frimpong, Jeremy Frimpong. I wouldn't expect you to know his first name.
There's an issue around that because you have to play Szoboszlai there, but he's doing so well for you in the middle.
He's doing so well in every position. Yeah, that's true. He's played really well as a fullback. Played really well as a midfielder. Curtis Jones played there last season as well. Joe Gomez can play there, but Joe Gomez has played, I think, if I'm correct, 2 times 90 minutes throughout the whole 2025 year. So if we want to keep him available longer, it's maybe a bit of a risk to play him 7 times in 22 days. He missed out on a training session yesterday, by the way, as well, but we are expecting him to train today. So yeah, challenging, but the good thing is that we have still enough good players available, and maybe one of them or 2 of them have to play in positions they usually don't do. But yeah, that's what we have to accept.
I've just had a thought. Could it possibly be that the fear of players getting injured is greater than the actual probability that the player gets injured? Is that a crazy statement to make? Your fear of playing someone and them getting hurt could potentially be greater than actually playing them and them getting hurt. That could cost you more. The fear could cost you more. And at what point are we going to say, enough fear? We don't have the luxury of choice. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to sit here and say that Dominic Szoboszlai at right back is good just because he had a good game against Arsenal doing it. I refuse to sit here and say that a central midfielder should be playing at the right back position when I have defenders at the fucking club. Very odd.
Hi, Arne. You've spoken a lot about the ability of the benefits of playing with a lead, and a big part of that is making a fast start. In comparison to last season, Liverpool haven't made as many fast starts. I think it's only once in 17 games that was scored in the first half an hour of a game compared to 22 times just in the league last season. What do you think that's down to, and how do you think you can get that back?
Great question.
I wasn't aware of that stat, although I am aware that we mostly go 1-0 down instead of 1-0 up recently. I cannot give you an explanation for that at this moment of time. I maybe need a little bit more time to think about it, but it does have an impact on a game because, I said many times that City deserved the lead in the first half completely, but it does make a big difference if you go 1-1 into halftime, and then when a goal is disallowed.
Think about that, guys. He has no idea how to answer something that should be such a glaringly obvious stat. First off, Arnie Slot says that he's not even aware of the fact that we scored first in 22 games last season. He's also not aware of the fact that we have only scored first once in 17 games this season. That hasn't crossed his mind. The idea of slow starts has not crossed his mind. And I would be willing to bet money that if you looked at those 22 games, they would be all in the first half of the season, if not 90% in the first half of the season. That would be something nice to fact check on, but you know what? How many games did Liverpool score first in during the 24/25 Premier League season? Liverpool scored first in 24 of their 38 games last year. We scored first in 63% of our games. Interesting. You see, but this stat would prove that otherwise. Because according to this stat, in 63% of our games, we scored first. So, recency bias, maybe? Because of what the end of the season was when we decided to start switching tactics. Obviously, we can't break this down, though, because that's going to take up too much time.
What did he exactly say? For not unreasonable reasons. and then 2 seconds later, you have to kneel down. So yeah, goals have a lot of impact on games. That's for sure. So yeah, but I cannot give you an explanation why it is actually at this moment of time.
James?
Just on Dominic, it's been so important for you so far this season. You had that kind of hammer blow of disappointment being away with Hungary. You had to kind of lift his spirits this week to try and make sure it doesn't have a knock-on effect.
No, we did talk about it. We spoke not only with him, also with Milos, because for both of them it was, of course, a very big disappointment being so close to playoff games, and then going out in the extra time, which was fair because I checked it. I was curious to see if there would have been a substitution in that 5 minutes, but I think there were 2. So the referee was in this situation right that he added some extra time. Yeah, then it's really hard that you concede, especially because you. On the other side, you see rubber, what it means to a country and to a player that haven't qualified for so long, and the same would have been for Hungary, of course. Although playing playoff games doesn't mean you will qualify, but it gives you a chance. And I asked him, is there now still a chance? Because I don't have a clue what's happening. But Alexander Isak with Sweden, they have 1 point out of 5 or 6 games, but they still have a chance to go to the World Cup because they won Group C of the Nations League, where Hungary was in Group A, and they did not win that, of course. So they are not involved. So it's hard for him that they've actually had quite a good season or 2 seasons with the national team, being in Group A of the Nations League and picking up quite a lot of points in their group, but not qualifying. Yeah, it's hard. But recently at our club, he's a little bit used to disappointments. So, but not such a big one as this one maybe. But he will be fine. He will always work as hard as he can, and I don't expect him to do any different tomorrow.
Well, last one.
Last one's about Kanate. We don't give a shit about that. Hey, this is fucking facts. If this guy is responsible for the energy at my football club, I'm fooked. Such a lack of energy. Off the pitch, on the pitch. It's all terrible. Hey, big up to Vader. Best dad in Canada. Biggest gaslighter in Canada. Look at this comment. He's being a dick. He's being a dick in his own way. Only you could get here. Ask ChatGPT. Okay, Chat GPT. How many games in the 25 portion 24/25 Premier League season did Liverpool score first? Let's see.
Have you ever been there?
Count it manually, bitch. I'm not gonna call it a bitch though. I don't want the cyborgs to think that I'm abusive. Big up Vader. Guys, go subscribe to Vader. He's been streaming a lot lately. Hang on. ChatGPT is manually checking it, so we'll give it a minute. Not a lot to take from that press conference, though. I like how he said that Dominic Szoboszlai is used to disappointment, so Hungary not making the World Cup will just be another thing, like as some sort of joke. Hey, big up, guy. Way to knock a guy when he's down. Yeah, he's used to being disappointed. I didn't realize the whole injury crisis going on with Bradley and Frimpong and now Wirtz. It's going to be terrible looking at Szoboszlai at right back, which means that the double pivot is going to be. I don't even know if you could play Szoboszlai right back. I think you're going to have to see Curtis Jones there. Because then if Szoboszlai is your right back, then who's your midfield three? McAllister, Grav, and Jones? I'm supposed to be confident with that? Going into Forest? Where's my confidence supposed to come from, dude? I'm supposed to think that midfield is going to provide me energy? Again, my stance has been very consistent, and I'll keep it consistent. The personnel, to me, is whatever. At the end of the day, the brass tacks is, how do we build up? What does our structure look like? How do we look? And what is the energy that I see being produced from these players? And at the end of the day, the number one attribute of every player at this football club right now is their ability to walk. And that's never going to be conducive to a winning side. Complacency is not for winners. And all these injuries are going to do is add more complacency to the team, because now we're going to be even more injury cautious. Slot doesn't stretch the midfield. Slot he stretches the whole pitch to try to overload the opposition back line, and he wants the back four to bypass the midfield to then create overload opportunities. Unfortunately, no one moves, and that doesn't work. Boy, ChatGPT is taking a long fucking time. No, a win is key. I don't care if it ends 7-6. A win is key. Just for the sake of fucking confidence. Even if we play the same bullshit football that we've been playing all season, I have to see a fucking win, dude. Even if I play the same stupid fucking bullshit U-ball fucking donut midfield 3-1-0-6, I have to see a win. Just for the sake of confidence and that these players don't feel like they're absolutely worthless. At the minimum. I mean, Such is life, my friend. I don't know how to answer this question for you. I feel like the problems are glaringly obvious and they're glaringly fundamental. But for some reason, our manager doesn't feel the same way, which is why we haven't seen any real implemented change. And like I said before, I want to take you guys back to before the Villa game, when everyone said that before the Villa game, when the narrative was the next two games are the most important. What did I say? Does anyone remember what I said 3 weeks ago before the Villa game about what our most important games were? Can anyone tell me? Let's see how good of listeners you guys are. Let's test your memory recall. What did I say that the most important games were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, before Villa? Anyone? Chat's not moving. Sick. This is true. This is true. It's okay. It's okay. There we go. Finally, it only took 5 minutes. Incorrect. Correct. Correct. I said that these two games or whatever, the most important game is going to be after the 2-week break. Nottingham Forest, leading into PSV, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds. These are the most important games. Number one, because it's against teams that aren't going to play football against us. So that's most important, right? Remember, if you want to beat Liverpool, don't play football. I know it's very hard to wrap your head around that statement, but if you analyze the games, you'll understand you don't have to play football to beat us. Play the meta against us. Put 5 in the middle, go long. But these are the most important games because these teams aren't going to try to fucking play us. They're going to play to our weaknesses and they're just going to stick to it until it works or it doesn't work. That's all they're going to do. Nottingham Forest are not, I mean, listen, if they do, they're out of their fucking mind. But they're not going to try to build up out the back, ball to feet. They'll just keep hoofing it to the fucking fullbacks. And eventually they'll win a duel. So, again, okay. So, ChatGPT thought for 5 minutes, manually going through each of Liverpool's 2025 Premier League matches in the 24-25 season from 5th of January versus United through 25th of May versus Crystal Palace. We scored first in 14 out of 20 games. Holy fuck. That's a lot. We scored first 14 out of 20 games in the 2025 portion. And we've only scored first in 1 out of 17. That doesn't sound right. We haven't scored first in 1 out of 17. We scored first against Bournemouth, Newcastle. This reporter's being stupid. Scored first against Villa, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Burnley, Atletico Madrid. Who else? Who else did we score first against? Everton. Arsenal. But I guess those weren't first half goals either. Maybe it was first half goals. And it wasn't scoring first. Maybe it was first half. Maybe that's what it was. That would make more sense. I don't know, but this took way too fucking long to do. Like this took so fucking long that I'm not asking ChatGPT. It took him 5 minutes to fucking give me that. It was also in the second half. Maybe what it was it was 1 goal in 17 in the first half. But even then, I'm like, but didn't we score 2 in the first half against Atletico? So I'm still confused. I didn't see what clip you shared. Hey, I know that this is supposed to be Milos Kerkez. Why is no one's name showing up as their fucking actual name? No. How about no? In the recent run, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's this. Maybe it's the first 30 minutes. It's 1 in 17 in the first 30 minutes. Maybe it's that, but I don't want to ask ChatGPT to fucking do it again. Yeah, it is really bad at reporting on football. I don't know why. When you ask it specific questions, it's bad at football. Either way, yeah, it did. Is your name ChatGPT? Either way, let's take a look at how we might end up building up this team. Fuck. Because this is so bad. Fuck is this? I'm trying to find a lineup builder, but they're all ass. Lineup. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now it's working. All right. Okay. Let's do this. Let's try to build up this stupid fucking lineup. But fuck. Look at this shit. Look at this fucking shit. It's not fucking working. You think that this is me angry, brother? You must be out your goddamn mind. You know what? I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. I know that this is very unconventional, but we're going to do it like this because this seems to be a better way to fucking do it. Give me a second, people. Please stand by. Everyone stand by. Everyone stand by. Hold your horses. Everyone stand by. Remain calm. I am here. Check it out, guys. This is how we're going to do it. Ready? Since all these other things aren't working, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. All right. So he said that Allison's probably going to be fit. So Allison's going to be in goal. Now, obviously, our center back partnership is going to be Konate, and Virgil. Of course you can use this. Yeah, none of the other lineup builders are working. I just tried them. They're not working. So this is better. All right, left back, because Robertson didn't train, we're probably going to see Kirkes. At right back, we're going to leave that open. Now, you're going to definitely see Gravenberch play. We're just going to put those who we definitely know are going to start. Gakpo is definitely going to play. Let's use Gakpo's primetime card, because why not? You know Mo Salah is going to play, but we're not going to use Mo Salah's inform card because he's not in form. So we're going to use his gold card. And then you're probably going to see Ekatike. And let's use his ratings reload card because he's a fucking dog. Now, here's where things get tricky. This is what I would do. Szoboszlai has to have his ratings reload. So this is what I would do. If I were Arne Slot, this is the way that I would set up the team. It makes the most sense. I like the double pivot of Szoboszlai and Grav better than the double pivot of McAllister and Grav. But you'll probably end up seeing this on paper. This is my biggest fear, though. This is my ultimate fear. Also, notice how this can play at right back. This is my fear. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. The other lineup builder isn't working, so I'm using foot.gg. Yeah, the other lineup builder isn't working. We just tried it. So this is, I just thought to myself, what can I build a lineup on? And I was like, oh, I could just use Footbin. Yeah. We're going to have Kylian Mbappe on the bench, though. Big up. Actually, we could do the bench. Hang on. Let's go Rio. Engamoa. Let's go Chiesa. Let's go Isak. Go Endo. Got to use the foundations card, 100%. Who else do we have on the bench? Let's do Gomez. I feel like Enyoni is going to be on the bench too. Poor Enyoni with the bronze card. That is not looking like a hot bench, guys. I'm just gonna put it out there. That's not looking like a hot bench, mama. This is the most broken goalkeeper in the game, by the way. Just letting you know. It's just ridiculous. Oh yeah, Robbo. But we can use Robertson's captain card because Scotland qualified. I think you get 8 spots, right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Either way, this is what I feel like Slot is gonna do. Oh, we get 9? Who the fuck else is gonna be there? Am I missing someone? Don't have a backup. Already have the backup. Have the backup. Verse is not here. Oh, it's probably going to be some other youth player here. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's just do Ramsey. This bucket. The Scottish boy. You know, I wouldn't mind doing this. Hang on. I wouldn't mind doing this either. I'm just saying. Or even if you wanted to do that. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind. I also wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't mind this. I don't think that this is the end of the world. I think that like this should be what the midfield is tomorrow. Now, what you want to do here is up to your own. That's up to whatever you want to do. But I feel like this is what the midfield should be. Again, this double pivot worked for me against Atletico Madrid. And Joey G is going to provide me experience there. He's not poor. And at the end of the day, you can take Joey G out. Like, let's say we get the lead, then you can bring Aaron Ramsey in, right? Like, Joey G doesn't have to play 90 minutes. I really just need him for the first half. He was really good versus Palace. He was our best defense. He was the best fucking fullback versus Palace. Yes, I did. He's right here. That's his endo. What the fuck do you mean? That's Wataru Endo. I don't want Endo at right back. No. Ash, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, this is kind of what I'm feeling like we should do. But I don't think that Slot is gonna do it. Damn, look at the price of that. This Cody Gakpo card is worth more than this Mohamed Salah card. That tells you a whole lot. Boy, he's down to 4.3. He's only 97K. I might have to buy that. I've got 300 grand. Just for the fucking shits and gigs. Unfortunately, though, this is what I think the actual lineup is going to be. I would not be surprised if he does some stupid shit like this. Why the fuck is Isak is not 726K in this game? Fuck off. He's 14,000. What the fuck is that? But I think that Slot's going to do something like this, which I'm not particularly happy about. Yeah, he could do this. He easily could do that. Although McAllister doesn't have the cam role, so now our chemistry is messed up. But this might be the more likelier one. But again, this pisses me the fuck off. This shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be a thing. If there's any midfielder who should be dragged there, it's Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones is the only midfielder who should be playing as a fucking right back. But anyway, here you go. This is what I think Arne Slot is going to do. This is not what I would do. This is what I think he is going to do. We will know this at approximately 2 p.m. UK time. That's 6 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow morning. We will also know at 3 p.m. Actually, at 3:30 p.m. UK, we will know just how fucked we are tomorrow. 30 minutes into this game, and we will know everything. We will know everything we need to know 30 minutes into this game. I'll tell you why. My number one grievance with the football club is energy. It's complacency. It's the static movement. If I see that in the first 30 minutes of the game, I expect to see that until the last 10 minutes of the game. The more static we are, the more static the defense is. The more static the defense is, the less energy they use. The less energy they use, the more fresh they are for the end of the game. So, to me, if I don't see the energy from the get-go, if I don't see the burning desire, again, like the number one thing that's missing from this football club is the fact that back in the day, 5-10 years ago, we would start games as though everyone had a gun pointed at their head. And it was, if your heart rate is not at 180, I'm pulling the trigger. That's kind of what it was. And now it's more like if your heart rate exceeds 70, I'm pulling the trigger. I need to see the energy off the bat. I need to see the desire. I need to see the fight from the first fucking minute. The very first long ball that Farr has put out there, I need to see us marauding to that second ball. Have you ever been to Anfield? Have you ever been there? Have you ever glazed upon the glistening lights of the Anfield night? Have you ever spent a cold English day waiting outside the gates of Anfield? Have you ever sung the songs with the fat men who sit in the crowd smelling of beer and biscuits? Have you ever touched the grass? Have you ever seen the corner flag? Are you just a plastic fan because you haven't traveled 10 hours on a plane to go see the team play? Are you? Or are you just a plastic fan for not traveling and spending thousands of dollars? Well, then you, sir, can suck my fat fucking dick. Slot's head is shinier, I will say. Slot has a shinier bald head, and as we all know, we like shiny bald heads. We don't like dull bald heads. I don't think that Sean Deitch waxes his noggin, you know?
Go and support Everton if you can't support the lads. Huh. Supposedly. Kermit says so.
Yes. The rage bait was successful. Yes, he successfully made me very angry. Very angry. I'm very angry right now. Who here, Dagestan? Forget. I'm so angry right now. I need team win. Okay, I am Roman Abramovich. I need team win. Win no win. I die. It's simple. I love this one. Go and support the Toffees. You bum. Go support the Toffees. I'll support whoever the fuck I want because this is America, bitch. Brother, once again, you said that you agree with what I say, but you think that another person is a better human being than me. I know the exact type of person you are. And if you're thinking that I'm seeking clicks and subs, is that why I stop every 5 minutes and ask people to sub and like the video? Is that why I use the same thumbnail on every single video? If I'm going for subs, I'm doing a pretty shitty job of manipulating the algorithm. Eh, very nice. My wife. My wife is the greatest woman in all of Kazakhstan. Liverpool, the best club in all world. Brother, I click on everyone's comment. You all get attention here. But listen, once I become big enough and there's enough people in the live chat, just know you're going to have to super chat for me to click on your fucking name. So get it in now. Get it in now. Once this little 47 turns into a 470, I ain't clicking on anyone's comments. You're going to have to super chat to get my attention. You hear me? My wife. You know, I would love to have your kind of confidence in life. I really would, because that would mean that I ignore reality and maybe things would be possible for me. But unfortunately, I was born a realist, therefore I'm not a dreamer. In my life, Kazakhstan is greatest plutonium, the greatest potassium in the world. My wife said the suck of my dick.
I don't know. I don't know. Kermit doesn't know. Listen, being a mod here is it's a very high privilege, okay? It's not just for anyone.
Not just anyone can be a blue name here. You see, here, a blue name means something. A blue name means something. It's not just a token I give out. I go into other people's chats and I look at the chat and I see everyone's got a blue name. Everyone's a moderator. Everyone has power. Well, what's the good of being a moderator if everyone's a moderator? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. No, 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 no. Here, a blue name means something. Blue name means something here. That means that I know you. That means that I talk to you off stream. That means that I've seen your face. It means something. You think I can't moderate my own fucking chat? There's 50 people in here. If I can't moderate this, I shouldn't be fucking streaming. Uh, 3 p.m. UK. You see what I mean when we say ego? You know, OMP, if you keep putting out based comments like you have all day, I might have to just give in and make you a mod because this guy fucking listens. This isn't a democracy. This is a fucking dictatorship. And I am the word. I am law. I am the Kim Jong-un of this channel. I am the Mao Zedong of this channel. I am the Joseph Stalin of this channel in a leadership sense, not in an action sense. Those are all terrible human beings. But the dictatorship metaphor is the same. You don't want to see me as a politician, my friend. You do not want to see me as a politician. Hey, in this sense, blue lives or whatever I fucking tell them they are. In this sense. Hey, I know what you're doing there, all right, but my mustache is better than Yosef's, okay? And I also didn't kill 40 million people by starving them to death. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. What I think of Bernie, I'm not necessarily into socialism, but if Bernie were given the Democratic vote in 2016 instead of the fucking bitch Hillary Clinton, I think Bernie would have beat Donald Trump in 2016, and we never would have seen MAGA turn into anything real. Again, Bernie, the DNC is its own greatest enemy, and they had a real chance of putting out Bernie Sanders, but they chose Hillary Clinton in a terrible time, and Donald Trump used fantastic, essentially slander tactics. And it's not like Hillary is a very easy person to defend. And after the whole, client list that's coming out, it's definitely even harder because whatever her husband is associated to, she's also associated to by association of being her fucking wife, being his wife. I don't think that she's a good person anyway, but I don't necessarily agree with all of the policies that Bernie has, and I'm not for socialism whatsoever in any way, shape, or form, but I think he would have beat Trump in 2016. And I don't think that we would have seen any MAGA turn into anything. John, you think everything is scripted, okay? You think everything is scripted. I could take a shit and you would say that was scripted. You ate food last night and now it's coming out of your ass. Scripted. No, I don't. But he was also going up against a registered sex offender. So again, if you're best competition is someone who literally has 2 different sex offending cases against them, you're probably going to lose. And also, when you tell people every fucking day that you need to spend $4,000 on rent, they're going to become radicalized. I'm just going to leave it to you there. You're going to become a radical. And when you tell them that it's just capitalism, they're going to become even more radical. But I don't think that government run grocery stores and free buses is going to fucking solve much, given the fact that the biggest issues in New York really surround around the real estate market and the fact that there are tens of thousands of vacant apartments all over the city that don't need to be rented because there are no laws forcing people to rent out vacant units, which then artificially raises the price of rent. There's also government controlled units, rent controlled units, where people, they die and then they don't re-rent them in order to keep the median rent higher. So there's not just regular vacant apartments, there's rent controlled vacant apartments, and there's no legislation that imposes any sort of tax or penalty on an owner for not renting those out, which again artificially raises what the median, housing cost is in New York City, which already is egregiously high, but even the affordable places don't even have to be rented under any sort of penalty. So the problem is a lot bigger than just there's too many rich people. Also, no one likes to talk about trickle down economics, but if you make shit free, well, who's paying for it? If you make government run grocery stores, well, then that means that the tax dollars are paying for it, and who gets access to that? Can people take advantage of that system? If I raise the minimum wage, okay, well, is the company just going to end up raising the price of the products anyway because now the cost of production is higher? If it costs me more to make something, that means that in order to maintain my profits, which I have to do because I'm most likely a publicly traded company, so I need to be showing growth quarter over quarter in order to keep my stockholders happy. That means that I need to then raise the cost of whatever the product is because I've had to raise the cost of making that product by raising the minimum wage, which ultimately just ends up leading to, more money out of your pocket, and it sort of takes away the value of the dollar, right? If I have to pay the McDonald's worker $20 an hour to just stick a burger in a microwave, well, then the burger's going to become more expensive. And if the burger becomes more expensive, well, then the power of my dollar drops because I can't get a $1 hamburger anymore, even though a fucking hamburger is like $4 now. Anyway, that was a fucking big ass rant off of one question. Big up though, Jenny. Hey, but again, bro, what are you gonna do, guys? Also, don't sit here and think that a mayor has a whole lot of power. It's a fucking mayor. It's not a governor. It's not someone who works for the federal government. It's not even a high position in the state government. It's a mayor of a city, albeit the most culturally relevant city in the world. It's just a mayor. It's just a mayor. I lived in one for a year. It was $900. But yeah, you never want to give those up. Rent stabilized units are literally worth more than gold. And once you leave, they can only raise it by a certain percentage anyway. So, you're towing a very fucking fine line here, Bull. You're towing a very fucking fine line. No. Keynes is better. Keynes is way better. Liverpool? Who gives a fuck about New York Football Club? But John, kind of just fucking with you because you think everything is scripted. But yes, at the end of the day, it's all theater. It's all theater. It's all just a game to the elite. Everything is bought and paid for. Every politician has corporate sponsors, super PACs. You can thank Ronald Reagan for the billionaire class. It's all just one big game. Why does the media hate Trump so much? I don't know. Maybe because he's a divisive individual. Maybe because his own supporters now are turning on him. Maybe it's because of the massive cover-up of a very specific sort of predatory ring. Maybe it's because the economy is in the fucking dump. Maybe because, again, the most important point, it just further divides the people. There's an infinite fucking amount of reasons. But you could say the same thing about the left. The left are no saints, okay? The left are no saints. They're both equally as evil. They're both equally as polarized. There is no such thing as the median anymore. And unfortunately, the silent majority, more often than not, sits in the median, and they think a lot like me. What am I going to do? So until we get, some sort of Julio Cesar Chavez-like individual who's going to start a revolution, but also Arab Spring sort of got rid of that, because you can't even use social media to create that anymore, because the global elite now have a case study to say, all right, this happened on Twitter. We can't let this happen again. Unless, of course, it was manufactured by the CIA, which we don't know. They're not the only one. He is just a mayor. Also, I'm pretty sure he already backtracked on the whole free grocery store. He was like, not free, just very cheap. This is a backhanded. This is backhanded, John. You're towing the line now. I don't necessarily disagree with this statement. Let's just put it this way. I think that everything right now, all over the world, no matter what the issue is manipulated. I think that the dissemination of information, albeit is more free now, is even more controlled by the algorithms. I think that corporations have ties to politicians. I think that they want certain things pushed. I think that mean world syndrome is more prevalent now than it ever has been. And I think that a lot of people's vision of reality is just so unrealistically based on what they see on social media every day and not what they see in their day-to-day life. So, what's the only thing left to conquer on the planet? As the great Bo Burnham has said, there is no more land to conquer. All land on planet Earth is conquered. Someone is living there, it is claimed. But what's the only thing left that needs to be conquered? The mind. And how do you conquer the mind? You divide the mind. How do you divide the mind? The dissemination of information. The prioritization of certain issues. For instance, I would think that there are, between the left and the right, I believe that there are very trivial, inconsequential, minor issues that people divide themselves so heavily on that they look at each other and they call each other fascists over something minor that more likely than not doesn't even have anything to do with their day-to-day life or their day-to-day interactions or beliefs. But ultimately, the reason why I don't side with the left as much as I side with another side would be because I don't value virtue over truth. And I think that the left leans more towards virtue than they do truth. I'm not saying that the right leads more towards truth, or they lead, a heavy amount towards the truth, but it's more prevalent towards the truth. Facts over feelings is the best way to put it. And I think that the left goes feelings over facts. Again, if you're going to sit here and ask me what's morally right and what's right, I'm going to say what's right, not what's morally right. What is the right thing to do? Simple. There are no feelings. You can't have feelings when making major decisions. It has to be right or wrong. And not in a moral sense, in a practical sense. That's all. And I think that that core belief creates such a division among people, which I understand because, you know, EQ is important, emotional intelligence is important. In fact, we could even use Liverpool as a case study. You know, my opinion on Slot, someone else's opinion on Slot. Well, a lot of the times they'll say, well, I like Slot because he won me a Premier League. Okay, that's emotional analysis. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you think that it would be morally wrong to fire someone who just won you a Premier League. That's really the basis of your argument. And I'm saying that was the past. The facts are today. And based on today, this is unacceptable. And because it's unacceptable, I can't support you. That makes sense? Plenty of gray area. Again, I'm trying my best to summarize this, but this is not a political environment. This is not a dissertation or a thesis. So I'm sort of just rattling off the bog here. There's plenty of gray area, though. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that virtue is bad. I'm just saying that if you held the gun to my head, I'm not saying that either one is bad. I'm saying that I value truth more than I value virtue. Virtue is very real. Virtue is not bad. But to me, 10 times out of 10, the truth is going to trump virtue. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's it. Sometimes they co-align. Sometimes what the true thing to do is the virtuous thing to do. Like this can happen. But truth has to be the first check. Virtue has to be the second check. It's a very complex problem because then you start diving into the dissemination of information, the warfare of information. There's topics that I could use as examples, but most of those topics are quite trivial and divisive and could potentially get me kind of cooked. No, because we're not talking about conspiracies and we're not talking about anything other than ideas. Speaking gibberish, Kronos, what do you mean? Democratic anarchy? No, I do not believe in anarchy under any way, shape, or form. Just like how I don't believe in the defunding of police. What a shitty stream. You know, I kind of got sidetracked by Jenny's question, and then that led into a rant after an hour of talking about Liverpool. But if you're not entertained, I do apologize. There is an X button at the top that you can click, and you no longer have to watch. Hey, listen. Peter Thiel, AI overlord. Very, very real. Maybe the AI overlord wouldn't hire Arne Slot. I'm just saying, if it was an AI overlord at the club, would Arne Slot still be in charge? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can answer that confidently. That's all I was saying, Jenny. I also don't have a problem with other people who don't view it that way. I just don't agree. That's it. It's just a disagreement. But that's just the way I view it. Truth trumps everything. And unfortunately, sometimes the truth is ugly. And I don't think that people want to admit that. Oh, yes. There's a lot of anarchy in Liverpool's play. Has anyone noticed that, like, at a certain point in the last 10 minutes of a game, the players will just throw everything out the window and it just looks like a hosh posh, like a fucking just improv session? I don't want to listen to Tom tell me about how. I don't want to listen to Tom tell me that Semenyo is going to be a left wing back. I don't want to listen to Asim tell me that Gahey should play left back away from home. I don't want to listen to Curtis Jones should be the right back of the future. I don't want to do that because I don't agree with anyone. And I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because apparently I hurt people's feelings. Bro, this is a great movie. Are you kidding me? It's a classic. Eurotrip is unbelievable. But here's the thing, Jenny. We don't have to agree. You can have civil discourse. We can disagree. I'm not going to sit here and hate you for disagreeing with me. I'm just going to calmly share my opinion and match whatever the energy I'm being given is. So if you stay calm, I stay calm. That's all. You don't have to agree with me. In fact, I would actually prefer it if there were things that you disagreed on because I don't want this to become an echo chamber. Echo chambers are bad. Echo chambers are where you go to die. Echo chambers are where you lose your mind. I don't need a bunch of people simping for me saying, oh, you're God, you're God, you're God. Hey, Curtis threw a punch for me. It's not bad at all. What do you mean? Eurotrip is a great classic. Exactly. Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. Come on, bro. Matt Damon cameo? Really? Cornetto trilogy. We're approaching the end here. Oh, bro, Hot Fuzz is unreal. Hot Fuzz is one of my favorite movies of all time. The World's End is all right. Solid, not too rewatchable. Shaun of the Dead is also great. But Hot Fuzz is like up there with one of the best movies ever made. It's just pure brilliance. Shrek 2 is fantastic. All the Shreks are great. Bro, Shrek is a staple of any American child. You have to. It's timeless. Anyway, we're an hour and 23 minutes in. Nature is calling. No, I'm not going to do the Martinelli SBC. I'll probably do the Kolo Muani because I like Kolo Muani in the game. That's fine. But I think that our disagreement is that I believe that the players are underperforming because of how they're being told to play. So there's an expectation of an underperformance based on how we're setting up. And I don't expect them to be above and beyond in these systems. Okay, listen, nature's calling, and this is way too deep of a topic. On another day, Horrible Bosses is amazing. Either way, I don't have too much time left. I can feel it coming. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest tomorrow. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest tomorrow. We will see what it's like. We will not be doing a watch along because it's at 7 a.m., but we will be doing a post-game reaction, most likely around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I appreciate you all being here, hanging out, talking, chatting. Big up. I haven't said it once. Like the video, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Absolutely. But I'll see you tomorrow. We'll know what it's going to look like 10 minutes into the game. As always, the best counter arguments I have heard to Arnie Slut Out are as follows.
Would you mind loaning me some of your lipstick, Mom? Because I want to at least look pretty the next time you decide to f me.
It's how I feel about Slot right now, and that's how I feel about after watching him in that interview. And then, of course, if you want my opinion on Arnie Slot, I'll give it to you right now.
All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
I've never agreed with Michael Caine so much in my life. But anyway, I'm out of here. Appreciate you hanging out. Like the video, subscribe. We will be back tomorrow. We will be gone Sunday. Have a great rest of your Friday. Stay safe. Take care.